posture yourself in the
All
chair.
right. As in Cian insults me, as always. We are back. The growth formula episode, way more past than 100. I don't even know which episode it is. We do quite a bit of these.
That's
So
right.
welcome, everybody. Mr. Miller, it's all right to see you.
It's the
Mr. Clashe,
gym,
it's great to see you.
the gym of businesses, the business
The gem
gym.
of business. I
Hey,
have a very, I won't say controversial, but I think everybody's going to have their own opinion on this subject. So I'm happy we bring it up. So, is it possible to have
anything's
a.
possible,
No,
Gabriel.
sure,
Anything
I'm
is
sure it is.
possible.
I'll talk to Jeff from now on because he doesn't interrupt me. So,
Everything is possible.
Jeffrey,
No, I'm
is-
not going to interrupt you. I'm
Oh my
actually
Lord,
going to shut
everybody's-
down your camera
Jeff-
because I actually have the
he's in
power.
charge today.
I'm in charge today.
It's true. It's a nice
I'm in
feeling, huh?
charge,
Power
It's
so-
true.
and
You see how he
control.
just changed the
So
camera?
there
He
you
just
go.
decided
No,
that
but
I stopped.
you have to take control, Gabriel.
That's right.
You gotta
Give
take
me control, Jeffrey.
No, you don't ask for
Uh,
it. You
you-
take
you
it.
do it.
I think
Exactly.
I have to get up
Just-
and press on button.
No,
Is
you,
that-
you have to earn it. You have to make me feel like you actually want it. Now you can take it. Go.
and he put on it's yet after all this. My camera is black anyways, so I'm out.
It's
So
about
it's
being
start
proactive.
with that. So
Start with what?
so basically,
Be
is it
clear,
possible?
Gabriel, please.
Oh Lord,
Use your words.
show us on the doll. So is it possible to have significant relationships while being an entrepreneur?
I have hundreds of significant thousands, maybe even. I
No,
would
no,
say.
you're talking about the work acquaintances. I'm saying significant partnerships. Let's say with your wife, your kids, while being an entrepreneur.
Completely fulfilled. They would be. They say they are.
They say.
They will be. And
I
they
say for them.
No, I believe that it's very important to have the conversation with yourself first before you start going into a relationship. You got to know who you are, what your dreams are, what you're meant to do on this earth, and then find the right companion.
You sound like Gary Vee right now.
Well, that's a compliment, I think.
Yeah, of course.
So my first wife, I got married very young, 20. I met her, I think I was your age, 21 years old. Or when you got married, you were
I'm not
21.
21.
But I didn't know, I wasn't mature enough. And so I went into this relationship without having the proper conversation with myself, but also with her. And so that's why it actually didn't work out after X amount of time. But my second wife, my current wife, Maria, I had that conversation. I had a chance to have that conversation with myself, but also with her, to know that this is what I want. These are my goals, my dreams. And I'm not going to change those things for you or for the kids or for anybody else. And that's why I think it's working out for me.
But
right
isn't
now.
that? But isn't that an extremely difficult conversation to have with anybody?
It is a very difficult conversation to have, but if you don't have it, as I didn't for my first relationship, it ended up in a divorce. So
Mhm.
is that better? Put the chances on your side, have the conversation with yourself first, but then also with whoever you're going to be. I
Mm.
mean, I'd rather be clear and transparent about my goals and be happy, and he be happy, than to have that conversation later on when you know it's not going to work out. Same with employees, by the way. What did we talk about not that long ago? I was saying when I did the interviews, I'm very clear with what my expectations are of
Mhm.
that said employee and what kind of environment it's going to be. Why lie or not be clear about it from the get-go? If it doesn't work for them, then okay, well, it doesn't work. But at least we're not wasting time going in the.
There's not really a surprise
No.
at that point.
And we have that conversation, Jeff, once a week minimum, if not more. But at least
Yeah.
once a week we talk about that. What are your goals? What are my goals?
I love because I guess I'm not part of these conversations.
No, I'm including Jeff because I was talking to you, and so
Yeah.
I wanted to include Jeff in the conversation. But I think it's important to have those conversations when need be, but also at least minimum once a week. I know you do once a week.
We have this thing for the last 8 years where we take a moment one on one and we talk about everything. It was very clear since the beginning. We're both very ambitious, all about career and etc. But we also wanted to have the family to have the legacy to go to someone. So it was very important for us to have those conversations since the beginning. So ever since especially now with the kids, it's harder to take those moments and to chat and to converse. So we once a week we take a moment without the kids,
There you go.
and we talk about the real conversation. It also helps us remind ourselves
Yes.
what are the objective, why are we doing it. If I'm not aligned for whatever reason, because she understands my objective,
Yeah.
she knows my objective. Well, she will give her perspective. She had the opportunity, well, we had the opportunity to be together the last 8 years and she's seen all the project that I worked on, all the ventures that I worked on. So she saw the good, the bad, anything. So she understands even more the conversation, even more the business than myself.
A relationship is a family is like a business. So if you have those conversations minimum once a week, we have in the business, it should be the same with your family, with your spouse.
Definitely. So
Danny has a show, he has a podcast, and I think you guys talk about this kind of stuff. I'm not sure. I listened to a few episodes, but it's things that you talk about, and amongst many other things. But you're starting off in the right way, in the right starting off. You're in the right direction with the fact that you're actually having these conversations.
okay, because we're working on a few technical things, but I think
Yeah.
we're okay
I'll
now.
talk by
We'll
myself.
still-
I can
Oh, I
talk,
know you
baby.
can
I
talk about it
can
over and
go.
over. We'll have to restart the cameras. It's all good. Just before we talk about who gave me that tick of breathing loud on the camera, which we trace back to Etienne, we'll go quickly on our Crown video. So the Miller Group obviously is in residential, commercial, new construction, as well as business plus. Our project, The Crown, our current project, which is in phase 3, is now in effect. So we'll show you a quick video with more information. We'll be right back with you. Nope.
To try to improve your
It's all
look.
good. It works. Improve my looks. That's
played with the
that's gonna be
lighting.
hard. All right, so we're back. I'm gonna bring it one step further, guys, with the conversation because I feel that like what we're
Seems
saying
so
is,
serious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna step one
Well, I
step
have
further.
to.
Come
I
on,
have to.
bring it on.
Everybody's interrupting me. I feel so sad. It's okay.
Take
One step-
control.
Jeffrey, wait your turn. Is that good?
So, all right, Etienne. So as
I lost my privilege. All right, go ahead. All right. So here's the point I want you guys to develop on. So we're talking about significant or meaningful relationships and so on because it is possible, as you said, you have the conversation, this and that. But does that mean that the person, your partner, let's say, because they're the closest to you, will actually agree, even though they support the decision? Because it's very different. I support
No,
the
no.
decision means I understand
Yeah, yeah.
why and I'll
And-
support it.
But that's what I'm saying. There's a lot of there needs to be this conversation frequently because it doesn't mean that because you understand and you accepted 3 years ago that now today 3 years later that you're still in the same state of mind. You still have the same goals. Goals change, right? It's not something.
So
that-
having the conversation is more of a temporary thing. It
Well,
has to be done over
I
and
think
over
it's
again.
important to have it like we have in business. I'm going to go back to business. We talk about certain things all the time, right? Because it's important to talk about them because they're going to always be the challenges in your business. So same in the family. This is always going to be money is always going to be a conversation,
I agree.
and the time and the goals that we have as individuals. Like for me, we talk about this. We talked about it on the weekend again because I was saying I need to know what the schedule is so that I can make sure that I can plan things that I want to do on the weekend, let's say.
Yep.
And I need to know what you want. I'm talking to my wife here. What do you want or what do you think you want to accomplish this weekend? Communication is extremely important to make sure that all parties are happy.
But is it about all parties being happy, or because I know some?
Well,
most
you'll
of the
be
time-
happy if you get a chance to do what you want, what your dream is, what the activity is that you plan on doing. If we go back to my example of my weekend, because it's a long weekend, I wanted to achieve certain objectives and goals. It doesn't have to be long term family life goals, but it could be on the weekend I want to do this or that. So we have kids, we have a dog, we have a business. We need to coordinate. We need to talk about what we want, what we expect, so that we can make sure that, because I love you, I want to make sure you're happy. Not you, Gabriel. I
so I
certainly
was gonna say, you
not
never
want-
told me that.
whoa.
but I got to talk to my wife.
I-
She needs to tell
I
me
was
what
like,
she
there's
wants
a
to do.
moment.
No, said that there's not this sacrifice and this feeling of, oh, I'm sacrificing, I'm always sacrificing, and then it builds up eventually. I think after a month, 2, 3 years, then it's like I'm out. Well, I didn't know. Like that's why I want to trigger these conversations. I think they're very important, and healthy.
So you have the conversation with your to be wife, right? So your wife to be, I mean, and okay, she agrees.
Am I getting married? What is this?
No,
I
no,
have another
'cause you
wife.
said- Oh, you
Your
didn't tell
renewal,
him?
the
You
vow-
didn't
the
tell Maria?
vows?
Oh, you're saying when you first meet
So,
someone?
because that's
you-
what you said,
when you
right? When you
meet
met
someone.
Maria,
Yes.
you were like, okay, so this is the plan. I'm not willing to change this, and that.
Right.
Well, are you willing to support that? Okay, great. You have the conversation 2 years after, because you said things change,
Yes.
right? And then let's say 5 years later, you have that again, same conversation, because we need to keep having it, and plans
Yeah, yeah.
change and things get more busy and so on. And you get to a point where, not Maria, but just somebody says, you know what? No, I can't take this. I know I
Well,
said yes.
that's-
I've been supporting
that's-
it, but now it's too
But
much.
that's possible for sure.
It
But
is
then
possible.
what? It's automatically a divorce. Like,
Well,
what does
maybe
that mean?
maybe it is because maybe the things change for her or for whoever you're talking about. Absolutely, but it doesn't mean that you can't. You should be talking about it to clarify it, though. I think that's going to potentially happen if you don't talk about it frequently enough. If
Mm.
you wait and you stall and you just
So it's
sacrifice.
the lack of frequency of talking about it.
If
that
you
can
clarify
cause-
what you want and you really love the other individual, you want the other individual to be happy, right? And fulfilled. So you're gonna do things to make sure that the other, your spouse is fulfilled and happy. But I need to know what it is.
And-
Doesn't mean I'll accept it and I'll agree with it, but I gotta make sure that I understand it.
And if you do have the conversation, those conversation regularly, either daily, not daily, but
Well, it could be.
daily,
if necessary, or-
weekly, monthly, or whatsoever, you will know that whoever is evolving in a different direction, you will
Yes.
feel it. You will know, and
And
you'll
if you
understand
go
it.
apart, and that's possible, you go apart. You can try to get back, but if no one's willing to change in what direction they're growing,
But that would, in summary, wouldn't that mean that basically the second that the business goals or the vision, not necessarily the vision, but yeah, but the business goals aren't the same, that the business goals over the just put it back on instead, that the business goals basically go back to be over the actual relationship. So business goals come first, then, not the relationship
well,
itself.
in my example, it's not about business. It's about what am I meant to do and what do I think my goal or my purpose in life is. And it pertains to, for now, my business, and it has for many years. But will it change? Maybe.
So
Maybe
do
I'll
you-
just get
so
fed
do
up and
you-
I'll want to do
No,
something else.
and something you said, it's important, is for now, because as the other, your partner can, that person's objective and goals can change, your goals also can
Yeah.
change in the relationship,
That's right.
in the business. Maybe the business will grow to in a certain way where you're like, you know what, it's time, it's time for me to do something else, or I want to spend more time with you, I want to travel for the next 5 years with you, and I want
Stuff
to
happens in life, as you
Exactly.
know, and you can't control a lot of it. So you got to go with the flow. But I think that the main point here, what we're saying is
Yeah.
that you got to know what you want. You got to know who you are and listen to that voice. And you got to communicate to your spouse in order to achieve, I think, a better kind of relationship, and also to achieve your true desire and your goals. And now we're talking about business, but it could be anything else.
So we've been talking about Maria quite a bit. So I think now she has her.
Great.
As I'm
This
pitch
is
black, I'll
fantastic.
still say I'll start with the disclaimer while my camera is being fixed. So the first part is a joke, as she mentions, but then she goes to the serious part. So she's saying that I've been trying, Lord, I've been trying to divorce Etienne for the last 2 years, lol. But on a serious note, we don't always agree, but the main goal is to benefit both parties. So there you go. So, but you said, but I think it's supporting also my point. So we don't agree, but we do support each other. So it's really two different
Yeah.
things. And I think the support is a lot more important.
Well,
than
isn't that
agreeing to
real
it.
love in the end?
The support, 100%.
No, not just support, but you don't have
No,
to
it is.
agree. No, but look at
That's
your
what I'm saying.
kids. Your kids are young now, but my kids are two of them are older. The choices they make, the decisions they make, are not necessarily what I would have done, but doesn't mean I don't love them, and I will support them in their decisions that they're. I'm not going to try to change those things. I'm going to give my opinion if they ask.
Would you
Well,
support
maybe even if
bad
they don't ask.
decisions?
Support.
Yeah, you just
No, I'm
said,
going to
gonna
support them
in their
as
decisions.
human beings.
You'll suggest,
Yeah.
you'll have the conversation, but at the end of the line, that person's decision. And from that, at least from my
Yes, and I can only
perspective
do
now-
what I can do, right? I
Mhm.
can't control someone else. So,
True.
except if I have a business, then I can control it.
Control everything.
This is what's great
my
about it.
house.
I am the master here.
So I'll shoot you guys one more questions with I love the fact that the camera hates me today.
It's technical
It's
stuff.
all
It's
good.
live.
I know.
That's
I
what
love it.
happens.
That's what life is.
I know he's getting sidetracked, and
I'm getting sidetracked.
a real
show must go on.
professional like
Show must go on.
myself, you just keep
So
on.
you should be
going.
hosting these things. You should be
should.
hosting, answering, and finalizing.
Well,
the
you
show.
know, as I said, I think in the French version, I was doing this by myself a year or so ago,
Yeah, but
2
this
years ago.
was one button.
Still, I was
Record
doing it
and
by
stop.
myself.
Okay, last question, guys, before it shuts off again and I lose concentration. So you don't have that conversation when you start. I know you said basically that's what happened during your first marriage, and
You got
after
divorced.
years, you got divorced. Sure.
Yep.
But how can you have? Is it possible to have that conversation within the marriage if you
Of
don't have it
course,
at the
Of
beginning?
course,
Sure.
because all relationship evolves, right? So you might you might be in the relationship at the beginning, and all of a sudden you're listening to yourself and you're like, oh, you know what, I want to launch a business, I want to do this, I want to do that. And in those moments, well, you'll have to have those conversations and hope that your partner will support and align with whatever objective or new objective that you have. It's the same thing as when you are at the beginning of your relationship, or at the beginning of relationship, you have those conversations, and then your goals evolve. So it's the same thing. Things evolves, and as long as you have those conversations, you'll be okay.
And I think I'm going to add to that. As long as you're both growing,
Yeah.
I think you're gonna be okay. It's if
I
one
agree.
stops growing or one stops listening to the voice or the
agree.
trying to develop themselves, then you're gonna have a problem because you're gonna go different ways. Same in the business. I talked about this. Was it
Yep.
yesterday?
last week.
Was it? Were you there?
Yeah.
I thought it was yesterday. Maybe not.
maybe.
Anyways, what was I saying? Like we all have to keep growing because or else someone's gonna get just bored
of the
with
other.
the others and will decide to go. Or
Yep.
it's the same in the relationship.
But if it's your goals that you're trying to obtain, but let's say your wife is not looking to grow that much, she's content with what she has, who she is as a person, and all, but she's not stopping you from growing. You're still gonna get bored. Let's say from the relationship, even though she's supporting you.
No, but it's not about business. It's about you as a person. Are you
Mhm.
growing? Are you growing your
Okay,
relationship?
more
Are you
on a
maturing
live,
spiritually? Are you? You gotta keep learning and growing and developing, or else why would I want to be with you? Well, that's my way of seeing things. If you
the
stop,
room is very quiet.
I know, but
right now.
it's what it is, though. Really, when you think of it, I think everybody's like that. I just don't think no one wants to talk about it. But if you stop evolving as a person, I'm not. I don't want to be with you in 3 months, 6 years.
Well, it's
whatever.
already the case, so I don't understand. what you're
No,
saying.
but it's true. You're right in that. Again, my first relationship, it was the evolving part. I couldn't see it because I knew where I was going, and I knew I was an individual that will grow in different. I will have different chapters.
Yeah.
In my journey.
We talked about friends also earlier.
Yes.
It's the same thing. I don't want the same friends I had 20 years ago that didn't grow, didn't mature. Maybe that's why I have no friends, because if they're not growing, if they're not evolving, I'm bored. I'm done. Like I want different things, different experiences. That's what's nice about meeting new people. But in order to stay or keep that relationship, people gotta want to keep growing, or else what's the point? I know everything about you. You've told me everything. I know everything, and now you're just staying there. Next.
I feel great.
No, but
Yeah.
so your spouse is the same thing.
Yes.
Your kids, they don't stay at that age.
They
Think about
evolve.
it. Well, you guys don't have kids, but it's fun. You said yesterday, you said, "Oh, that was a nice age," because
Yeah.
Gabriel came over with his wife and his son, and you said, "Oh, that was a nice age." Talking about Andrew, who's my son, who's 17 months old. But if he stayed there forever, would it be fun?
It'll be
No,
different.
Would it be different?
different.
But it'd be different. But the nice thing is what you see them grow and mature, and so we, when we reach adulthood, cannot stop. And that's what, unfortunately, that's what a lot of people do. They just stop learning, stop growing, stop developing, stop being curious about things. That's I don't want that.
Yeah, it's kind of the employee mentality. Once I'm out of school, that means I'm done learning and I can just start working and do
Mhm.
what I'm
Yep.
told. And right, so the brain stops growing, which is the beauty of entrepreneur. So it's okay, Jeff, if you want to just, you can take us out, or Etienne, if you'd like to do our outro. What's it called? Outro.
You have 30 seconds at least.
There you go. 30 seconds. So on that note, guys, it was a great subject. I'm happy we discussed it. I think there was a lot to say. Maria certainly said what she thought, but we will see you all tomorrow. I have nothing to say. I've been
All right.
completely destabilized by this camera issue. It will be.
See,
will
you're
go
learning.
better,
See, hopefully
learning.
you'll grow and learn from it, and then next time,
or I'll just quit. It's either
or
that
we'll
too.
just fire you.
That's what I thought. So on this beautiful note, we'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching.